I've been meditating for many years now, and I'm confident that this practice has improved my life. I believe I'm calmer, more clear-headed, and a more authentic version of myself, thanks to the intentional practice of sitting in silence. So I have no doubt that meditation works, but a question has persisted at the back of my mind all of these years. Am I doing this right? Have you ever wondered that? Or maybe a better way to phrase this question is, am I achieving the appropriate mental state during meditation? Both questions are hard to answer for me. After all, I can't experience someone else's meditation to compare how it feels to my own. I can't measure how many thoughts I have versus someone else, or compare the quality of our respective emotional equanimity during meditation. And I can't expect someone else to answer the question for me either. I may look still and peaceful in meditation, but that's hardly a reliable indicator of what's happening on the inside. So I was pretty excited when our Thursday Dharma study group began reading Venerable Chosun's book, The Method of Sitting Meditation. This book is a wonderful resource, and it takes Master Sotaesan's instruction for seated meditation and elaborates on it in great detail. Perhaps this text would help me to answer some lingering questions. Maybe I would finally figure out if I'm doing meditation right. The first several chapters of Venerable Chosun's book guide us through the physical aspects of proper seated meditation. This includes finding a strong seated foundation and proper alignment of our spine, balanced breathing to bring energy into our tanjan, and a soft focus of the eyes. But in chapter 6, the topic shifts to the quality of our spirit during meditation. Here we read, "The spirit should be ever alert in its calmness and ever calm in its alertness. If the spirit becomes dim, focus the mind to refresh the spirit. If it lapses into wandering thoughts, restore it with your right mindfulness. Rest in the realm of your original nature, which is effortless and spontaneous in its original state." Aha! This passage brought some clarity to me. To assess my meditation practice, I now had a clear frame of reference. The mental state I'm seeking is alert in its calmness and calm in its alertness. Like so many other aspects of Buddhist philosophy, it's all a matter of balance. So to be too calm in meditation would mean being drowsy, dull, or blank while we're seated on the cushion. Our goal is not to sit in a daze or a stupor. That would make our practice no more effective than a nap or time spent zoning out in front of a TV show rerun we've already seen. Temporarily very comforting, but hardly a way to touch true inner peace. But to be too alert would be similarly unproductive. To be too alert might mean spinning with thoughts, distracted, unable to settle our mind, even if our body is still. Many of us spend the majority of our days in such a state of alertness. It's the whole reason we come to meditation in the first place. So instead of being too calm or too alert during meditation, we're seeking to continually return to what I now consider engaged calmness, or alertness grounded in the present moment. Finding mental balance between calmness and alertness reminds me of the physical balance that we seek when we practice something like yoga or stretching. In yoga, we need to physically relax our body enough so that our muscles can stretch, but we also need to maintain enough physical awareness to keep our body supported and in a healthy range of motion. To be too relaxed could actually cause injury by bringing our body out of proper alignment. But if we're too physically alert and energized, we won't be able to ease into the stretch that we need in order to grow. Similarly, our mental state in meditation needs to balance calmness and alertness for us to achieve the most benefit. Another way of expressing this ideal comes from the scripture of the founding master, chapter 3, practice, passage 12. Quote, "Therefore, the following phrase expresses the main principle of Son. Ever alertness within calmness is correct, but blankness within calmness is wrong. Ever calmness within alertness is correct, but idle thoughts within alertness are wrong." End quote. So how can we maintain this balance? To be calm but not blank, alert but without idle thoughts. Master Sotaesan instructed that if the spirit becomes dim, focus the mind to refresh the spirit. So first we have to have enough awareness during meditation to notice if our spirit is becoming dim. In my own practice, I can tell when I'm teetering on the edge of drowsiness because my posture takes a nosedive, quite literally. My shoulders start to slump, my head droops. Sometimes I even start to feel like I'm in a little bit of a dream state. Other people might notice their body slouching, feeling out of it and unaware, or even starting to doze off a little. When I notice these sleepy symptoms, that's the cue to refocus and bring awareness back to the present moment. Even simply opening our eyes can re-energize our meditation and prevent us from sliding into a state of drowsiness. Personally, I've noticed that adjusting my posture by sitting up tall, opening my chest, and realigning my ears with my shoulders really does the trick. It's almost counterintuitive, but by expending a little bit more energy, I find myself more energized and I can sit for longer periods more comfortably. But how about managing the other extreme, when our energy is too alert? Sotaesan tells us that if our spirit lapses into wandering thoughts, we can restore it with right mindfulness. That means when we start to experience distraction and feel the tempting pull of thoughts during meditation, we need to recognize and quickly abandon that mental activity. Venerable Chosan reminds us that the only right mental activity in meditation is being aware only of the meditation itself. Our practice is one of continually letting go of the many other thoughts and recollections that arise when we're seated on our cushion. Easier said than done, right? So when I find myself inundated with thoughts while I'm trying to meditate, I try a few different strategies to drop the needless mental activity. Sometimes I appeal to my reason, and with each thought that arises, I dismiss it with an imaginary wave of my hand. I tell myself, I have the rest of my life to think thoughts like that. But only right now can I sit here and experience the present moment. Other times, I'll take that alert, awake energy in my mind and like a superpower, focus it fully on the sensation of my belly rising and falling with each breath. What makes this practice of meditation so powerful is that it's an active process. The analogy to yoga is once again appropriate here. In yoga, we wouldn't benefit much from simply holding one posture indefinitely. Instead, we're continually making adjustments on the mat, breathing and moving, deepening a stretch when needed, and then backing off when we've pushed a little too far. Similarly, in meditation, we are not seeking a static state of mind. That's not what's beneficial. It's our ability to make continual adjustments, that is. To be too calm, and then adjust. To be too alert, and then adjust again. This practice of continually finding the sweet spot between calm and alert can be challenging. But there's a really hopeful message and an encouraging one that's tapped onto the passage that I shared at the beginning of this talk. Let's revisit it to see how all of this fits together. Quote, "The spirit should be ever alert in its calmness and ever calm in its alertness. If the spirit becomes dim, focus the mind to refresh the spirit. If it lapses into wandering thoughts, restore it with your right mindfulness. Rest in the realm of your original nature, which is effortless and spontaneous in its original state." End quote. That last sentence reminds us that we are not meditating to try and achieve some supernatural or superhuman state of mind. We're practicing so that we can rest in the realm of our true nature, our original nature, a nature that is effortless and fully present in the here and now. Meditation is an opportunity to continually uncover that nature which is already within us. So after all these years, I have let go of the question of whether I'm doing meditation right, along with the quandary of how to answer that question. Instead, I'm paying attention to my energy and state of mind during meditation, noticing when my eyes start to glaze over, and when past memories come flooding in, and welcoming each of them as an opportunity to rebalance and rediscover my true state of being. Thank you.